Hello, fellow travellers. So recently I received an offer from Coles for Flybuys, and I thought I might talk to you about how I'm managing that and a few tips about managing those 4-week offers, as well as some extra information at the end about Flybuys that you might not have known, including a brand new partner that they just brought on. Let's get into it. So recently I received an offer leading into Christmas if I spent $50 a week in one transaction each week from Monday to Sunday. At the end of that time I would get 10,000 Flybuys points, which would translate for me to 5,000 velocity points, which I think is very handy. But what you want to avoid in these situations is overspending on these offers. So if you end up get carried away, you might spend $100, say, at one or more of those shops. It's very likely that the next offer will be 4 weeks in a row at $100. And what ends up happening is Flybuys just keep ratcheting the amount you have to spend up. So this is my idea, my strategy, what I do. First of all, when you go to the store, you can do this one or two ways, but you could physically go around and add up your expenditure so that you know you're basically getting to $50. But I think an easier way is just to do your regular shop at Coles, the things you actually need from Coles. And then when you hit $50 at the checkout, stop the transaction and then pay for it, obviously, and then you get your Flybuys cards. And then if you have extra shopping, then put through that shopping. And that way, particularly if it's less than $50, that way you'll have less chance of incurring a higher offer, as it were, spending offer in the next 4-week offering. Now, and once you spend your $50, then you can either choose to shop cheaper at Aldi or elsewhere at Woolies to spread things around, or if you don't have time for that, just do the rest of your shop at Coles. So as I said, the problem with spending way more than $50 or the minimum offer that you've been given is you'll end up being ratcheted up each time, and you'll just keep chasing your tail, and it could end up being $150 or $200 a week if you keep going. So that's my tip, that just, as I say, stop your shop and put through your $50, as it were, whatever it is, and then shop later, or do a smaller shop at Woolworths, or shop at Aldi if you want to save money, as I do often, because being a greybeard, you want to save money, don't you? And just a few other little tips about Flybuys. Now, one thing I just learned recently is that they've now added Priceline as one of their retailers. So now you've got, in addition to Bunnings, Officeworks, Target, Coles, Kmart, and Ready Express, and two liquor retailers, they've now added the chemist Priceline. So I recently bought something online with Priceline, and I just made sure I linked it to my Flybuys cards. You've got to go through a few circuits to do that, but then if you link your Flybuys cards to Priceline, then you can go and pick up the points from Priceline, and those points will then, if you've linked your Flybuys account to Priceline, should then eventually throw through its Flybuy points and then velocity points eventually to your account. The other thing to remember is before you go shopping, just check your offers. I try to remember each time I go to Coles or indeed Woolworths with Everyday Rewards, just check your offers. And it may be when you're planning a shop that you might get a lot more points. You might even be able to double up your points at Coles. And I've been buying, I love chocolates. I've been buying a lot of Cadbury as well, and they have one offer where if you spend $35, you get 1,000 points. So if you spend $35 on Cadbury and Toblerone products, at the end of the period, 4 weeks later, you get 1,000 points. I thought it was very handy, and I know, judging by the amounts of Cadbury I bought, I'm sure I'm going to get that. So the other thing to consider is having a one-pass membership. I do have that. It's really, for me, really worth it. I think it's maybe $60 a year, and you get a lot of benefits, including free delivery, You get often bonus points through one pass. I actually had a situation where I had purchased some linen a long time ago, and because it was one pass, which I had to return, I realised it was king size sheets, and I only had queen, and I was able to return them simply because I had a one pass membership. Now, if I didn't have one pass, it would have passed the 3-month period, so they sort of warranted me out. So one pass also gets you extra Flybuys points, and certainly at places like Kmart, if you swipe your one pass as well as your Flybuys points, you can get 5 times the points at Kmart. Another benefit I believe that you can get with Coles Flybuys is you get 1 status credit per $100 spent. That's a maximum of 10 status credits per month for those of you who want to have more status credits. It's obviously very, very handy. I think that's still available. And if you're a big shopper, you might choose to have Coles Plus. Now that costs $19 a month, but then you get double Flybuys for that. I recently cancelled that myself because I wasn't spending that much at Coles. But if you're spending a lot of money and you at Coles anyway, it might be worth doing. And also you get free delivery if it's more than $50 with Coles Plus, and some other benefits and offers. So Coles Plus is also worth considering for big shops and those of you like Coles, or have the money to spend anyway. So yeah. So that's Flybuys, and that's my little tip at the beginning to try and limit how much you spend on those 4-week shops so you don't get caught in the cycles. But I think Flybuys and Velocity are like an excellent program if you're interested in the points chase. So what do you think? Are you doing anything like that? And let me know if you've got any ideas yourself about chasing these points. See you later. Bye.